Welcome back to another Yellow Brick Roads parents video. A couple weeks ago, we talked about how to talk to your child about COVID-19 and how to answer questions that they might be having about coronavirus. Today, we wanted to talk a little bit more about what they might not be saying, but what you might see in your child as it relates to the stress and the anxiety going around in the world right now. So one thing that's really important for you to know is that whether your child is 18 months old or 18 years old, they may not have the words to tell you, I'm anxious, I'm stressed, I don't know what's going on, I don't know how I'm feeling. And so what you may be seeing is when kids show stress and anxiety, again, from little kids to big kids, is that it comes out in irritability, defiance, clinginess, and most of all, regression. And many of your children, so to speak about aggression for just a second, many of your children will revert. It's very common actually for your 2 and 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds to revert back to being a baby. So they might engage in baby talk, they might engage in, they might physically say goo goo gaga or want a bottle, something that takes them back to a time when they remember being comforted or not feeling the way that they're feeling now. And they're not gonna be able to say, Mom, I'm stressed, I don't know what's going on. And so just to start, I kind of wanted to show you guys one thing that I've learned through conscious discipline and a couple other training videos is that many people think that development happens like this, that the child is working on a skill, working on a skill, working on a skill, now they've mastered the skill, and you plateau off. Really, development is they're working on a skill, they master the skill, oh no, now they start working on another skill, so they drop that skill, and then they can all kind of level out together. And that's what development looks like. So children of all ages develop and burst in regression. So they burst in one area and they regress in another. And again, I try not to get too scientific. The brain, what the brain's doing is the brain's focusing on building synapses in one cluster, they kind of let go of some of their memory in the other one. So what you might be seeing is that children start to hit, they start to talk in baby talk, they start to cry more. If your child's potty training, they might stop talking, or they might start hitting more, something that you're like, oh my gosh, they weren't doing that before. Or when kids learn to tie their shoes, they almost always start peeing their pants again or wetting their pants again, just because that's something that their brain's not focused on at that time. And so those are the things you might be seeing. And so today, Kylie and I are gonna talk about really what to do when you see those behaviors that as an adult, you're going, wait, what's going on? Why are we acting like this?
So one thing that we can really focus on and keep on mind is that when little people, our children, the children around us, are overwhelmed by their big emotions that they can't express, that it's our job to share our calm with them and not join their chaos. And as a parent myself, that can be really hard to do. It's really stressful to do that in everyday life, let alone when we're going through a pandemic like we are now. Because we carry around our own stresses, whether it's we come home from work and we've had a stressful day, or we're trying to navigate working from home and doing distance learning, and we're stressed out. And so when our children are then stressed out and, hitting and having potty accidents when that hasn't happened in a long time, it can be really hard for us to remember, okay, this is not my child trying to be defiant. This is my child being stressed out as well too. And so just remaining calm, getting down to their level, trying to understand what's going on for them and how we can just calm them is going to be really important. I know for my children alone, my 3-year-old, again, he goes through these bursts and regressions where it's, all of a sudden he's whining and, hitting a little bit more. And my toddler, who we're going through potty training right now, so we're focusing on potty training. So he is hitting a little bit more. He's having the sleep regression, and my husband and I on those hard days, we'll always look at each other and be, they're going to have a breakthrough soon, right? The breakthrough is coming.
What are they going to do that's really cool and it's worth all of this?
So it's just really important to remember that it's not, necessarily a defiant behavior. It's their way of expressing like, hey, Mom and Dad, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed, I don't know how to handle this emotion right now.
And I think it's so important they are trying to communicate with you, and the fact that we try really hard as adults, and we address this in that video, right? They don't necessarily need to know every detail. And so we try so hard to shield our kids and protect our kids that I think sometimes because we're trying to, keep them in school and keep a normal routine like we talked about last week, that maybe they don't know what's going on. And maybe they don't. But the reality is, if you're stressed and society's stressed, they're feeling it somewhere. And as much as we can try to shield them from that, I think it's important you continue to do that. But also just recognize it could be happening, and it's often your extra stress too, so that doesn't help. But like Kylie said, remain calm, try to, join them in your calmness. And I think one of the most important things, as always, keep your boundaries. And so, you may recognize, all right, I'm going to pick on William just because I can say his name on TV. All right, William's throwing a tantrum right now. Gosh, he must be stressed about, COVID. Where you're not going to be like, wow, William, I see you're really stressed about the world around you. That's not their appropriate language either. But what you can say is, it's really hard to be 3 right now, and I'm so sorry. Can I help you wash your hands? If you need to get some of these big emotions out, you can do that in the safety of your bedroom, and you can put him on his bed, or you can let them kind of go through that. Right when they're at that peak of their chaos is not when they're going to learn anything new. So your job is to be there, hugs and kisses, but really keep firm. If there's a reason that sent them into this, you said no, whatever it is, hold that boundary. Like Mom said, no, I know it's hard to be 3 and to understand that right now, but we're going to keep trying. Mom's going to help you wash your hands. No, you really can't have ice cream before supper. I'm so sorry. I know that's a really hard reality as a 3-year-old. I want ice cream for supper too. And just kind of narrate them through that. I get it. It's hard. It's rough. But hold your boundary firm. It doesn't mean like, oh my gosh, we're in a pandemic, so they get everything they want. That's not the message that we're sending by any means. It's just for you to know it's normal, and for you to normalize that and know, you're a great parent and you're doing the right thing. Breathe, take a deep breath. We're all in this together, and, just keep reinforcing what you're already doing as parents. Just have that little extra knowledge in the back of your mind that, oh, they don't know how to tell me, hey, I feel anxious and I'm not sure why, but the world is weird right now.
I think, like Jess said, just stay calm, talk through it. I think a big thing is labeling your emotions.
Yes.
Yes. I see that you're angry right now. I see that you're frustrated. I see that you're sad. How can we work through that? That's going to be really helpful for them to start identifying those emotions themselves.
Oh, I love it. I can't believe I forgot. That was the most important part. Label their emotions for them, help them understand, and help them build the new skills. You can tell me you're angry. It's okay to say I'm angry. It's not okay to throw your body on the floor. Reinforce those things. So thank you so much for joining us. As always, wash your hands, don't touch your face, and we'll see you next week.